Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PUDcast with Jason and Mike. I'm Jason.
I'm Mike.
And we're coming to you live from the Pud Cave located here at Game Swap in beautiful downtown Lincoln in the great state of North Carolina. Mike, what is going on, brother?
It is a Sunday morning.
Easy like Sunday morning, brother.
I wish.
Ain't nothing easy about this Sunday, bro.
No, not at all.
So, man, how's your week been, brother? What's been going on?
The week is good. The weekend, Friday night, man, that was fun.
Friday night was a blast.
With the First and Fright paranormal group doing the investigation on the courthouse, Lincoln County Courthouse. That was a lot of fun. We did the Facebook live viewing party here. Had a pretty good bit of people, and it was you were here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
For a little while.
And a couple of surprises surprised me. Chris Eisenberg.
Chris Eisenberg and Melanie Eisenberg.
Yes. And Jeff Roberts.
Yeah, man, the owner-operator of the Millennium Wrestling Federation.
Yeah.
He showed up. That was awesome, man. I did not expect to see Jeff.
Yeah. That was a big surprise.
Casey, his soon-to-be son-in-law was with us. So was Krista, his daughter. It was good to see those guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely, it's always good to see those guys.
Yeah.
And you can see those guys too, Mike, and so can the PUDs out there when you visit the MWF.
That's right.
Live out of Howards Creek at 508 Howards Creek School Road. I think their next show is this Saturday, or this coming up Saturday, the 20th. Coming Saturday? I believe it's the 25th, I believe. Yeah.
That would be, I want to say that's the 26th.
It might be the 26th. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's 25th, 26th. Yeah. We never take notes. We have notebooks. And, speaking of notebooks, Mike, something else I want to give a little attention to. I want to give a little shout out.
25th.
It is the 25th?
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, once again, you can see Jeff Roberts, also known as Keith Matthews. He's an asshole in wrestling, but he's really a great guy outside of wrestling. Hope I'm not breaking kayfabe too much there, but he does it right, man. He does it right. But, man, I was going to say something that I completely lost my train of thought. But that's okay because we're here on the PUDcast, brother, and we can wing it.
But no, the investigation that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
I was going to say, but do you know about how many people showed up? Because I know it was packed when I left. Man.
There were people coming in and out, all night. I know we didn't leave here till probably midnight.
Really.
We, as the viewing party, because they had cut the feed, about 11:30.
Right.
Then they came over and did some, kind of like a Q&A. Type thing for about 30 minutes. So wound up leaving about 12. I know that they went back to the courthouse and continued on with the actual investigation till probably about 2 in the morning.
Oh, no way. I didn't know that.
Because they had, all their stationary cameras set up.
Right.
To catch anything that was going on.
Right.
The Facebook, with the Facebook, it's there definitely to see how they do stuff, and sometimes you'll see something on that, but it's tough with the camera phone.
Yes,
you know how that goes.
Exactly.
It's tough. It's not an exact science.
No, man, and
for sure. But their stationary cameras and all that's what they use, and I know they're probably still reviewing all the footage because they had so many cameras set up. I mean,
right, and
you're going through everything meticulously, watching this footage that you filmed for hours and hours and hours.
And Mike, you just as you were talking about the cell phones, being cameras not being exact science. You can say the same thing about just paranormal investigations in general. Was there anything that kind of stuck out to you during the viewing party watching it? Was there anything that kind of got you like, oh wow, or
we were outside. A couple of us were outside. We were talking. And just to grab a cigarette, and we were talking. And all of a sudden, behind me in the alley, have you ever watched the horror movies where the cat jumps into the trash can, makes a big metal trash can sound? Or somebody dumped something in the trash can out back in the alley.
It scared the hell out of y'all?
It scared the hell out of me. I don't know about everybody else, but I was already pretty much to the door at that point. It's that sound. And the funny part is all the trash bins in the alley are those hard plastic.
Yeah.
So it's this metal and glass hitting all at one time. I'm like, oh my God, what is that?
They got us.
They got us.
We're done.
Yeah.
I tell you, man,
They're not over there. They're over here.
They done scared them all out at the courthouse. Now they're a game swap.
Right.
You know, man, I didn't stay really late for you guys, but I ended up going home and watching the remainder of it at home before I went to bed. And, you know, I'm a skeptic. I think I said that a couple weeks ago or last week. You know, I'm a skeptic when it comes to the paranormal stuff. Not saying I totally don't believe anything. You know, I just don't know. I'm more agnostic, I guess. One thing, man, that kind of, what's the word? It was kind of tense for me watching this thing was they had some sort of transmitter.
Right.
Or I should say a receiver, not a transmitter,
Right.
a receiver. Some sort of radio receiver that was, I guess, operating on different frequencies and stuff like that. Now, I will say, when they started operating that piece of machinery, and you could hear some of these voices coming through. Now, granted, I don't know what those voices are. I don't know if it's legit from the spirit world. It could have been from the drive-thru at Hardee's, for all I know. I don't know. But I do know that it caught my attention.
Right.
And I do know that there was one moment, Mike, where they were like, "How old are you?"
Mm-hmm.
And I heard 40. So did they. I
wow.
heard it myself. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Like I said,
Right.
man, I don't know.
Right.
I have a degree in electronics, so I know a little bit about receivers and transmitters. You know, my first thought was, well, they're just picking up, you know, stray signals. You know, they're picking up other radio signals. You know,
Right.
but I did find that to be somewhat provocative.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it
yeah,
caught my attention.
yeah,
Let me put it
yeah.
like that. And but all in all, Mike, man, what a great night! It was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was, man. Like I said, we got to see some old friends. You know, got to see some new friends. You know,
Exactly,
and
yeah.
I think that's what it really boils down to, Mike. You know,
Right.
it's just having
I know
community,
on that live
you know.
feed, I want to say they had somewhere in the range, probably 900 viewers.
Yeah, I know it was about 700 when I tuned in.
Right.
It was at 700, and it already started dropping down a little bit
Right.
by that time. Right. So, man, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Man. Great job. Shout out to First and Fright.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, hopefully we'll hear more from these guys, and hopefully, you know, we can continue to, you know, look at some of these places around town, man, because the courthouse is not the only place that's haunted around here, you know, or has been claimed to be haunted.
Well,
you know?
I tell you this, and I'll go ahead and put this out there because I thought it was funny. And it's not long after all this kind of started that everybody kind of has popped up, you know, to where it's like, okay, my place is haunted.
Oh,
place is
yeah,
haunted.
yeah.
Which, you know, it could be
Could
true.
be,
I know.
sure.
I know next door at the coffee shop, you know, even before this started, they've been talking about this for years, that they've got a ghost over there.
Right.
And, you know, with all this stuff happening lately, you know, with the investigation, everybody's kind of popping up, well, there's a ghost in here. And I'm convinced now that I am the only store,
That's not
the
haunted?
only establishment on this block, this...
Whoa, shit, what was that?
I'm convinced that my store is the only store that is not haunted whatsoever.
You know, Mike, I would probably go ahead and say you're right about that. I would probably venture to guess that no stores are haunted, but that's just me. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's the thing. You never know.
You never know,
You
man.
never. That's the thing. It's unexplained. Everything.
Yes. And I'm sure as hell not going to sit here and say I know for sure and I don't know
Right.
for sure.
I know for certain. I'm not up for sitting in the dark at the courthouse.
No, sir.
That takes a special kind of person to
Yes.
do that. To sit still
It just
for that long.
No way,
I'm too
man.
antsy. I can't.
There's no way,
Yeah.
man. No.
No.
And I don't like silence either. You know?
No.
And anybody
Yeah.
knows me knows how much I talk and run my mouth, and you can
Yeah,
absolutely
I've
understand
got to
that.
have something going in the background.
Yes, something, man. Either
Yeah.
music, something,
Right.
a television show,
Something.
man. Talking, whatever. And speaking of talking, Mike, brother, this week on the podcast, we're going to be doing some talking. And we're
watching.
And watching. I was about to say, man, we're trying something a little different this week.
Absolutely.
You know, it's another one of the first for us PUDs up here in the PUD Cave. We're going to give something a shot. And it's a really good dovetail from what we covered last week. For those PUDs out there that didn't listen, we covered the year of 1984 in the Jim Crockett territory. We pretty much reviewed and went over some of the highlights, some of the feuds, some of the workers, or superstars, I should say. Mm-hmm. And all this basically was leading up to the year-ending event known as Starrcade 84. We touched on Starrcade very briefly. And the reason we didn't go into Starrcade is because this week, Mike, once again, going into a first here on the podcast, me and Mike are going to watch Starrcade 84. Now, granted, we're going to be doing some fast forwarding. We're going to be doing some skipping around.
Yeah, we're going to hit hit the matches mostly. We're going to kind of highlight the matches of the event, and not so much the interviews and back footage, which they would show kind of the footage to put over the angle for the match.
Right.
But we're going to be hitting the matches during this because it is a 3-hour.
Correct.
It wasn't even a pay-per-view at that point.
No, sir. Closed circuit.
It's a closed circuit only and live event. So it was right at 3 hours.
And Mike, let's maybe in case there's anybody out there that's under the age of 30, probably not, but just in case, let's describe what closed circuit was.
Closed circuit. A closed circuit feed was anything that was broadcasted from, say, like an event, anything, a baseball game,
concerts,
yes. Anything like that before the days of, say, like a pay-per-view. And it wasn't broadcasted live on TV, and that was basically to get your attendance, the attendance up.
Right.
So you wouldn't be, you would feel more obligated to go and see it live.
Right.
That you couldn't see this readily available on TV.
Right. Or even in your town.
Right.
Right. Cause,
but also closed circuit was used for sellouts.
Right.
It was very essential because a lot of these events were sellout events. So they would close circuit broadcast to, say, like a smaller venue.
Yes, sir.
Down the road or across town or at a movie theater or anywhere like that.
Right. Basically, and just like you said with the movie theater, that's what they would do. They would just have a big screen up, and then they would just show the event in real time.
Right.
And in other words, it was a direct feed to whatever building. And Mike, you're right. I forgot about that. A lot of times the sellouts, they would have to go and get a smaller venue and set up the screen. Movie theaters is actually a great example. I believe it was WrestleMania 1, I believe, is where they had a lot of theaters rented out. Because a lot of people always go back to WrestleMania being the first big one. Well, we both know that Starrcade 83 was the first one.
Right. And, with WrestleMania, the first one, that wasn't a pay-per-view.
No, right, correct. Yes, sir. It was closed circuit. And basically, it's a great idea for that time, and that business model was genius.
Yes.
Because it's like, we can rent out these many buildings. Now, granted, you had to put money into the production. You had to get that live signal feed. There was some problems with the first WrestleMania and some of their closed circuits. They had to give a lot of refunds back. It was still very,
not
very
exact science.
No, once again, brother. Absolutely.
Uncharted territory.
It was, but closed circuit, man. It was just that. It was really that first step going into pay-per-view. In other words, instead of doing it where you had to buy a ticket to go to an arena or to a smaller theater or something like that, now you can just buy it and watch it from home.
Exactly.
But before all that,
and those sales, like that, oh god, they were tremendous.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Once they went to that market,
it just went through the roof, man. So, my brother, I guess we can go ahead and start watching a little Starrcade. Once again, this is going to be sort of a reaction / review / discussion on this event.
Right.
And we're going to, like I said, once again, we're trying something new. We're going
now,
to watch
if you got the WWE Network, which is basically, unless you've got a copy yourself of the event, would be the only way to watch Starrcade. Because you're not going to find it on YouTube.
It's not on YouTube, man.
You're not going to find it on Daily Motion, anything like that.
Yeah.
So if you got the WWE Network, Starrcade 84 is on there. So we're gonna start from the beginning. And they're recapping. Actually, they've started to recap the end of Starrcade 83 with Flair winning the title from Race in the Cage.
Right. With one of the greatest finishes of all time, I might add. That flying body block by Ric Flair, it's got to be one of the greatest flying body blocks of all time.
I don't know if I would ever say that.
Well, yeah, man, and that was got to be the.
Are you sarcastic?
Very, very much.
Thank you.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
I can't see your face because I'm looking at the video feed. Maybe I need to look this way and you need to look this way.
Or get a mirror.
Yeah, exactly.
We can get a mirror set up. Mike, you got to admit, man, that's got to be the worst finish.
That was terrible. That was terrible. But it was back then. It was acceptable. You could buy it. But
right. Well, this is also back in the day when a suplex could win a match.
Right.
Sincerely, it is what it is.
I've seen Bob Orton Jr. do it.
Yeah.
Many
And Flair won it with a suplex at some point, didn't he? It seems
No.
like. Oh, okay. Maybe I just got it mixed up with that wonderful flying body block that he did.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, definitely go back to the network. Definitely go back and watch that. Yes,
and I think that sets the stage because Gene Kiniski was the special referee in that.
That's right. Yes, sir.
I think that also sets a stage for this one because the main event with Flair and
oh boy,
Dusty is going to have a special referee for that.
Right.
Which let's go ahead and put it out there. Don't get a special fucking referee.
No. And once again,
it's always going to go to shit.
Absolutely, man. And not only that, but speaking of the worst finishes ever, I mean, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
You know,
you're almost always guaranteed to get a shit finish.
Shit finish, man.
From a
Yes.
special referee.
And what is so crazy, man, is Starrcade 83 and 84 both had special referees in the main event. Both had shit finishes.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that,
right.
man.
First thing we're going to start out with, let's see. Dr. Tom Miller's in the ring. Here comes
sir. Tommy Young, greatest referee of all time.
Not Tommy Young. No, that's a Hebner.
I'll be damned. That is a Hebner.
I'm not sure which one. Dave or Earl. I can't remember which one worked for Crockett exclusively and which one worked for Vince exclusively.
Ain't that a trip? How you had 220 referees work for different promotions. I always just thought the Hebner brothers were just a trip in themselves.
Yeah.
Man. You know, which I'm still not 100% convinced that they were twins, man. I still think $1 Million Man took another referee, maybe Joey Morella or something. Did the plastic surgery. That's what Hulk Hogan told me.
No, here we go. All right, first match coming up. This is going to be for the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship. It's between Mike Davis, who is the champion.
Yes, sir.
And Denny Brown, who was
the creator of Denny's Restaurant.
No.
A lot of people don't realize that.
All right.
Is that not?
I like Denny Brown.
Denny was okay, man.
I like Denny.
Denny was all right, man. I like Denny. He was all right.
Denny would probably go on to be probably one of the more famous of the junior heavyweight champions.
I'd always put him up there with, no more famous than Lasertron. Now,
Jesus Christ.
Let's go ahead and get that
Let's go ahead and get that shit out of the way.
Yeah.
Early.
Because that way we're all on the same page that Denny Brown cannot hold Lasertron's phaser. Yeah. Phaser. Hey, but you know, man.
Was it a proton pack?
Hey, man, I still feel bad about that, Chris Eisenberg.
All right, here we go. Mike Davis. Now, here we go. All right. Mike Davis is another Florida guy.
Right.
That Dusty had brought up. His most famous angle was with Kevin Sullivan when Kevin Sullivan had brainwashed him into thinking that he, in fact, himself was Dusty Rhodes.
No shit, I don't know this.
That is probably, you've got to go back. Anybody, go back and watch this because it's one of the greatest angles of all time. And
I've never
Mike
heard of this.
Davis puts it over like, oh my God, unbelievable.
I don't even remember Mike Davis, man.
He's got the black X on his head.
No shit.
Dressed just like Dusty Rhodes.
So just to make sure we are 100% on the same page, Mike. So Kevin Sullivan, the Prince of Darkness.
Yes.
Has Mike Davis convinced that Mike Davis himself is actually the American Dream Dusty Rhodes?
Yes.
I'm going to YouTube today, brother. That's what I'm doing after post-production, man. I'm going to look this. I had no idea. How have I not known this, man? Oh, my God. Once again, brother, that's why I love doing the podcast. I learn new shit all the time in here. So
we'll get to Florida at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
But the point being that Dusty was bringing a lot of the Florida guys up.
Right.
When he was down there, he took over the book. And now he's incorporating a lot of Florida people.
Right.
This, I'm going to tell you, to me, this match, hands down, I think is probably one of the best wrestling, just pure scientific, technical wrestling matches on the card.
Right. Maybe not a lot of emotion going into this match. I mean, it's a title match. It's a competition.
It's a face versus face match.
Yes, sir. In other words, man, this is like your legitimate competitive nature of old school wrestling.
Yes.
You know, this is what kept it based in reality over matches like this.
Right.
You know? But now, granted, man, once again, being someone who was more into the psychological aspect of professional wrestling, this match to me, even as a kid, when I would go back and watch this on VHS, A lot of times I'd fast forward, man.
Really?
Just to be completely honest with you, because there wasn't there wasn't a lot of stake. I mean, the title.
We missed that. That was. Let's go back on that one, just for a second. Because as good as the match is, it has its moments right here.
All right, and Mike, let's tell the people. Whoa, okay, what just happened there, Mike?
All right, here we go. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. So Denny Brown goes over. It's obviously just a very very botched spot. Goes outside of the ring, and wow, yeah, that was.
Basically, it was supposed to be a shoulder tackle.
It kind of went
south.
Yeah, it definitely went south. But see, here we go, face.
He helps him up
into the ring.
Pats him on the back.
All right. Holds the ropes open for him.
Shows that camaraderie, man.
Yeah. Which, I mean, still at this time, wrestling is considered.
It's real.
A competitive sport.
It's legitimate.
Right.
Yeah, it's very competitive, man.
Right.
A competition is what I'm trying to
Yes.
say. Legitimate competition. Which, once again, going back to the psychology, man, it just showed we're both good guys. We don't cheat. We don't, we don't cut corners. We don't, do these underhanded tactics.
Exactly.
And we're wrestling for this title.
Right.
And, Mike, of course, the junior heavyweight championship will later on become the cruiserweight championship we know of. But I think a lot of people could argue that title was really more or less the technical wrestling championship.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Because you had guys like even though I'll give him shit,
Lasertron,
Hector Guerrero,
Hector,
was incredible technical wrestler.
Sir. Nelson Royal, man, was good.
Nelson Royal was fantastic.
Phenomenal, man.
Fantastic. Mike Davis.
Yeah.
Here
Denny
you go.
Brown.
Denny Brown was phenomenal. I don't think Denny Brown got. I really like Denny Brown.
I did too, man.
As a wrestler, I think his size probably kept him from doing anything more.
Right.
Because he was a stout guy.
Sure.
I think right here we're about to see. There we go.
Yeah, and basically what we watched right there was Denny coming up and doing a flying forearm off the second rope. Not the prettiest flying forearm, once again. But the thing about Denny Brown, man, I think what put him over so much was just that he was the constant technical wrestler.
He was.
Man. I mean,
he was.
The title worked for him so well. Same thing with Nelson.
I don't remember. He may have talked.
Very, very rarely, man.
I don't remember.
I don't either. I don't.
So it couldn't have had a lasting.
Kind of like with Nelson Royal. You know what I always found funny?
I've heard Nelson Royal talk.
Oh, really? See, I don't recall.
You'll know as and we may get upon this at one time or another, but he would always do the opening promos, the video promos for the Bunkhouse Stampedes.
I think I do remember that
and
because the saddles in his book. Yes, I do.
He would always be by the campfire. It's like,
he was the old guy telling the story.
Yes,
that's right, brother. I forgot about that, man, because it had that really cool, almost it was a Western type scene. It was like, let me tell you boys about how they did it in the old days. I think he was even cooking a pot of beans or something, man, which would even put it over even more.
Yep. That's right.
But
I think we're about to see, if I'm not mistaken, we're about to come up on the end of this match.
About to see the finish of this this clinic, man. I mean,
here we go. Reversal into the corner, back into the back suplex. 1, 2,
3.
And 3.
And we have one of the coolest finishes.
I've used this finish.
Yes,
I've used this finish probably a couple times.
Right.
I love that finish where someone goes into the corner, comes back out. You do the belly to back suplex on them. Both shoulders are down, and one gets the shoulder up
on that 3 count.
Because
it like trips everybody, fakes everybody out.
Yeah,
you think you just won, but no, the other guy just had their arm up. Even though you're the man who gave that maneuver,
right?
You don't have enough self-awareness where you're at the time to raise your own shoulder up.
Exactly.
Once again, man, going back to the psychology. Telling a story in the ring, man, something that I think maybe current wrestling doesn't hit on.
We got the handshake.
The hug, the handing of the belt to the other.
Yeah.
It was sportsmanlike conduct, man. Very sportsmanlike.
This will be Denny Brown's first.
Is this his first run with it?
His first run with it.
Because, man, he held that belt on up through, what, 8? Well, up to about Lasertron, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't know who Lasertron beat for that belt. I can't remember.
It was Denny Brown.
Was it Denny? Was it? Okay, okay.
It was actually Denny Brown.
Because I know they juggled the belt a little bit between Nelson and Denny. You know, we go
Denny,
back and
yep.
forth. But yeah, man, when Lasertron come in, that's why he was the last champion, because no one could really follow that, man.
Okay.
It would be the same way as trying to follow Freebird, man. You just can't do it.
Right.
You know, once you get to that certain level of excellence that we have with Lasertron, where do you go from there, brother? You know.
Arachnaman. Arachnaman.
Or the Yeti.
Oh, here we go. All right.
All right.
So that was good. That was a good match. It was a good technical match. I always liked Denny Brown.
It was a good way to kick off the show.
And I like Mike Davis. This is probably the last thing Mike Davis would. Well, he did the rock and roll RPMs, but
yeah,
that
that's
was
right.
a whole different story onto itself. But before that, like I said, check out that Florida stuff.
I will. I have to go back.
It is amazing.
And you know,
Now look at this guy.
see, we're looking at a young Tony Schiavone. Well, everybody's young in this video, brother.
Woo.
We're even about to look at a young Ric Flair coming up here in a
Yes.
minute.
Yes, sir.
And you know, Mike, something else we ought to talk about are the people who are doing the commentary for this show, man. We have, right now in the backstage interview segments, we have a very young, dashing Tony Schiavone.
Yeah.
Pre-mustache, I might add.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
Oh, man, I told you, I'd probably before he could grow one.
Right, look. Yeah.
And the other two people doing the commentary on these matches is the legendary Gordon Soley, considered by me to be the greatest. I don't consider him to be the greatest. He's definitely in the top 3, in my opinion. And we also, who I consider to be the greatest.
The greatest.
The greatest of all time.
To me.
Me too. And I know we're biased.
Oh, yeah.
We're biased.
For sure.
But that man would be Mr. Bob Cottle.
Yeah.
The voice of professional wrestling.
Absolutely.
Man, when I hear his voice,
Yeah.
even today, and when I go back and I watch the old stuff, hearing his voice gives me a sense of comfort. To be honest with you, man, it takes me back to being a kid, and it also gives me just that sense of home. Almost like when you eat a meal, like your mom would make, or you know,
Yeah.
so or you go to a certain restaurant, you know, or Christmas music, or a certain song, you know. Bob Cottle's voice does that to me, man. He takes me right back to 10 years old. It takes me right back to my mom and dad's living room. And in my opinion, the greatest, man. He put it over so well, man.
Oh,
and,
for sure.
you know, and Gordon Soley, thankfully, Gordon Soley gets his props. You know, I don't think Cottle gets his props as much as I think he should, but Soley definitely does, and, you know.
For sure.
Got to give a shout out to those guys, man.
Oh, yeah. Now, what we have here is a match that I am just... This match dumbfounds me.
Now
Because,
who is this, Mike?
We've got the Japanese, Mr. Ito.
Mr. Ito, yes.
And there's confusion even on his name, whether he called him Mr. Ito or Mr. Ito. I mean, you can hear that.
There's a lot of that in old pro wrestling.
Oh my gosh! I don't even know where Mr. Ito came from.
Japan.
To be honest. Oh, I mean, yeah. Besides Japan, it's like I don't remember him in Florida. I don't remember him anywhere else.
He just kind of popped in for
Here he is.
Starrcade 84 and then he's gone.
I don't know if they had a deal. You know, again,
maybe it was
like
one of the
Baba.
Japanese promotions or something.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I no idea. But he's going against Brian Adidas,
who makes great shoes, by the way.
Well, you know, no idea with Brian Adidas here. Brian Adidas is not a bad wrestler.
No.
Not a talker.
No.
His biggest thing was his feud with, well, first with being friends with Von Erichs in Texas.
Right.
And his feud with the Von Erichs in Texas.
Yes. After he went heel on and right.
Right. Here, Brian's kind of getting started out, and they just didn't know what to do with Brian.
Right. And
which, I mean, you know,
he fell into that.
Yeah.
Into that, you know, there are so many
I think they were looking for good-looking, you know, baby faces.
Who can work, and he can.
Work. He could work.
I think he fell into that Brad Armstrong, Tim Warner thing, man, you know.
For sure.
Just all the ability,
right.
the look, but just didn't have enough, man, to really get to that next level.
No.
You know.
Yeah. Didn't have that charisma.
They just didn't, man.
I didn't see it.
I didn't either, man. What little bit that I was aware of Brian Adidas, coach, you know, by the time I started watching Crockett, he had already left the promotion, and I guess was back in Texas at this point. I do remember catching him a little bit on World Class. But never, man, it was just one of those guys you read about him in the magazines. You'd see his name in the top 10, usually around 8,
Right.
in the promotion. I mean, not trying to be, be a dickery. I bet it's just what it was,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, not really a huge fan. Mr. Ito, kind of the same thing. Granted, he was a.
This is probably just stereotyping at its best.
It
He comes out barefoot and he's wearing the wooden shoes out to the ring.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Throw the salt,
and it is. I mean, it's everything like that.
And unfortunately, Mike, I know we touch on this. Unfortunately, about every week, I know for at least last week we had to touch on it. But man, there was so much just stereotyping, so much.
Oh yeah,
racism, man. You just hate to say it, but
yeah.
But on the flip side of that, these minorities got paid out for it, too.
Right.
It's kind of one of those weird things, man. It's like, shouldn't Mr. Ito stand on his own just as a man?
Oh, absolutely.
Or are we going to put the all these stereotypical Japanese gimmicks with him to put him over the crowd? Unfortunately, man, in that time it worked.
Yeah.
It may still work today. Who knows? It is what it is. It is what it is.
I think it would just be cheap.
I think people would see it for what it was, which is exactly what it was, man. It was a cheap reaction, man. And
let me tell you, Mr. Ito is a non-seller here. Oh, Adidas has already got him up in the
airplane spin we got going on here.
Freaking dang airplane spin.
And I think that does it, right? That was the win.
That's the win.
An airplane spin.
Airplane spin.
Mike, this brings up a good point, man.
The goddamn airplane spin.
Do you think, because we just saw with the Ric Flair Harley Race match from the year before with that really outstanding crossbody block that Flair did, what do you think, man? Do you think wrestling has gotten better or has maybe regressed from these holds not having the same impact, man? In other words, now an airplane spin would not beat anybody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but back then it did.
Well, I don't.
What do you think, man?
I don't know, because I think it's a good setup. I don't think it is. He used this obviously as a finisher.
Right.
It's almost kind of like an airplane spin into a
back body drop kind of,
or a FU.
Oh yeah.
Cena's attitude adjustment.
Right.
With that takeover, but even now, say like Antonio Cesaro.
Right.
Uses that, not the airplane spin, but he uses that traditional hold the legs.
Oh
the person around, but
right. Giant swing, I think it's called.
Giant swing.
Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, it's used as a setup.
Right.
Now, so I think it's a good setup. So, but as far as a finisher, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, man, it's just one of those things, because I've
never
seen
been dizzy enough to just
lay there for
just be pinned.
Seriously, man. But I do think there's something to be said for those simple maneuvers causing wins back then, man. I'll give you an example.
See, they were showing the replay of it, and honestly, he almost loses.
He about just takes him on over his shoulders there. Yeah.
I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, that one was one that.
So if you're putting your opponent over that dizzy,
shouldn't you be dizzy? The psychology says you should be. Now I have seen some wrestlers do that. I have seen some wrestlers will stumble after that. I have seen that before. But obviously, man, in today's time, you just don't see any airplane spins.
No.
But man, on the flip side, I know a friend of ours, David Hayes, who's also doing a podcast, man, and I believe they're actually going to have a new episode coming up in the next week. So I want to go ahead and give those guys some props and put them over. But man, it's like he posted a video to where this guy takes like 12 DDTs. It's one of the independent things, and then eventually the guy got beat by a roll up, man. It's like you kick out a 12 DDT. It goes from one extreme to the other. Yeah, man.
Can't.
It's like the opposite extreme of what we just saw with getting pinned by an airplane spin.
Right.
Got to be a little mid ground there, brother.
Yeah.
All right, well, man, we're on the third match of the card. Now, who do we have here?
Two more Florida guys. We got Mike Graham,
right.
the famous Mike Graham,
yes.
son of Eddie Graham from Florida.
Right.
Challenging Jesse Barr. There's another guy.
Who I've never heard of.
I don't. Maybe you're familiar with, maybe not. We'll get to that, but Jesse Barr is the Florida State champion. This is for the title.
Okay.
Two great wrestlers, and this is a really good match. Jesse Barr is incredible. I mean, but he's known for having not the best attitude in the business.
Really? See, because
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with him, man.
You may be more familiar with him as Jimmy Jack Funk.
No way.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay,
that
now
is-
I was
okay,
familiar with
from-
Jimmy
from,
Jack.
From WWE.
I did not know
WWF
that.
at the time.
I did not know that,
Yes.
man. Okay. Well, obviously, man, I've obviously watched Starrcade '84 in the past, obviously. And I remember this match, but I was just like, okay, I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah, because they were all from Florida.
Florida.
Which surprises me because, here we are, we're in North Carolina, we're in Greensboro at the Coliseum. These are all Mid-Atlantic guys, except for the guys that Dusty's bringing up for this, especially this match, because I don't know many people that have seen the Florida stuff from this area.
Right, man. I mean, the only way you got any information, and we've talked about this, was just the magazines.
Right.
That was it, man.
That was it.
And I mean, that was for the fans, man, not a casual fan.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was for.
You had to be hard in,
Yes.
hardcore. Just I want to know everything about
every detail of
Yeah.
every wrestler and and that was such a cool thing back then, man, to have those magazines.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I love those, man.
just waiting for them.
to come into your territory.
Waiting for that monthly magazine to come out
yeah,
was
yeah.
just like, man.
Oh, dude, I remember when I knew it was every fourth week, and man, when I went to the grocery
And
store.
here's the thing: they were 2 months behind,
Yes, sir.
real time,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
on everything that was happening.
But you still.
So if you had, so if say you had this Starrcade '84 that happened in November, you were not getting
to February,
February, March
before you get to
before
it.
you even saw any pictures from Starrcade.
Yeah. And you were still anticipating it, man.
Man,
It-
that was a long wait.
Yes, sir, it was, man. But it was so magical in a way.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like I said, man, I know we talk about society nowadays and how spoiled we get with our own demand
Yeah.
society, our fast food society. Back then, when you had to wait on something and you had to kind of, bide your time, it just seemed to make it so much more special when it paid off.
It
man.
wasn't as hard with the TV
Right.
because the TV was behind 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
So 2 weeks from say Starrcade '84 again, you would see those highlights.
You still got to see
And
that
that
right.
was something.
Yes.
Oh my God! When you saw those highlights put to that music,
Dude,
that
man. Yeah, I know exactly what
Frank
you're saying.
Stallone,
Yes. The dance or something? No, I know the song, man.
I do
Yeah,
too.
yeah. We'll put a link
Yeah.
to it. We'll figure
Yeah.
it out post production. Put a link up
Yeah.
to it. But man, that was magical. I remember staying up late. I think it was Channel 9 because Channel 9 was very professional wrestling friendly. I think we discussed that.
Harold Johnson.
But man, I had to stay up to like midnight to catch the highlights for Starrcade. It was literally 30 seconds.
Yes.
It was a 30-second
yeah.
music clip.
Yep.
And that was the greatest thing ever,
Yeah.
man. It was so worth staying up late
Yeah.
for. It was oh my God, that's just enough to buy my
Uh-huh.
time until, you could watch the whole show on VHS, which, man, that may take 6 months or a year sometimes, it seems like.
Yeah.
It seems like it was a long time before you could rent those things.
Yeah.
Rent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Be
Yes.
kind, rewind, motherfucker. You better goddamn have that some bitch back
Exactly.
to the beginning,
Yeah.
But well, man, let's talk a little bit about what we see in this matchup here, man. Pretty straightforward, technical type match.
Yeah. Jesse Barr, like I said, I like Jesse Barr. I thought he was a good heel. He was a good talker too.
Right.
That was the thing. We didn't see that here, but you watched a lot of that Florida stuff, and yeah, he's over, man. And he's a good looking guy.
Sure, yeah.
In a time where some of the guys were good looking, some weren't,
man.
but
Which I kind of miss that too, Mike.
yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
just different. Mike Graham again.
really,
Just incredible baby face.
Yes.
He was so good.
and knew the business, man.
yeah.
You watch his old interviews, and God rest his soul, man. He
Mhm.
passed away
Yeah.
about 2 years ago, I believe it was.
Yeah,
Was it
man,
2 or
yeah.
3, maybe.
It may have been longer.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. I know he was, unfortunately, suicide. It's very sad, and he's just one of those guys, man. He was born into it. He was raised on it, and he knew it.
Yeah.
And man, you watch some of his interviews, you could just sense his knowledge for
Oh, yeah.
professional wrestling, and it also showed in his work. And he's also one of those rare second generation guys.
That was about to say.
You know.
That he was so good. And just, I don't think he ever got to that level of where his dad was.
No, unfortunately,
For
no.
sure. But it's like with Dustin and Dusty.
You can't take
And
nothing
Cody,
away from
and
Dusty.
Cody even.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can't, because they are both incredible.
Right.
But it's hard to get to that level of Dusty.
You can't get out his shadow,
Yeah.
man. I mean, that's Dusty Rhodes, man. I mean, there's only a handful like that, and he was one of those blessed handfuls. But you cannot. Hey, man, I consider
in that
Dusty.
rare instance, say like with Cowboy Bob Orton Jr.
That's a good one.
Okay, well, I would say Cowboy Bob Orton Sr.
Right.
I think Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. kind of surpassed his dad.
And Randy.
And Randy
surpassed him
by leaps.
Oh man, I mean, it took it to a whole new.
Right.
Bob Orton, as great as Bob Orton Jr. In fact, another shout out, man. Trey Childs, a friend of ours and a listener, he just brought up Bob Orton Jr. to me on Friday at the First and Fright thing. We were talking a little bit, and he was like, and he was really putting over Bob Orton Jr. And I was like, man, next time we bring him up, you get a shout out. There it is, Trey. There's your shout out, brother.
That's it.
And thank you for checking us out, man. We appreciate that. But yeah, man, Bob Orton just never got into that main event status.
Right.
Now, even though he was in the main event of WrestleMania 1, technically, and he was the finish of that match.
So was Snuka.
Snuka as well, and Bob Orton Jr. caused the finish of the first main event in WrestleMania. But Randy, brother, hell, man, The Rock. I mean, you want to start talking about these third generation guys. I mean, same thing, man. Rocky Johnson surpassed Peter Maivia. Right. Even though they weren't related, blood related. They were by marriage. But then The Rock, obviously, Jesus, man, you can't even compare him to anybody.
Right.
I mean, shit, man. Yeah. He's an icon of his own. But yeah, man. So we have this great second generation Mike Graham who, once again, man, probably did not get as high up the food chain as he should have.
Now I know he did a lot of work afterwards after his wrestling career. I know he backstage in the office and everything. So he still had that mind for it, that great mind for the business.
Because him and Dusty were really close.
Yes.
I remember that they were very close. So, Mike had to work with Dusty on these things and had a creative input, man, which, man, you could even maybe say that Mike's, strong points were more on the creative than even in the ring itself, even though he was great in the ring.
Right.
So that ought to tell you his creative. I can even look at, like Eddie Gilbert kind of in the same vein, even though Eddie was tremendous in the ring, man. His mind for it was unsurpassed. Man.
Yes.
Unsurpassed.
Yes.
There may be some just as good, but nobody was better.
No.
So, yeah, brother. That's,
we've got a good match going on here. I think it is probably,
once again, one of the better technical
matches on this card.
Now,
which is it's going to be a big leap and bound for the match coming after that. Yeah.
You want to give a spoiler, or
we're gonna push on through this.
But it has been a good match, and once again, like Mikey was saying at the beginning of this broadcast, just to reiterate, go back and watch it. Watch it with us.
Right.
If you're in a position where you can listen to us and put on Starrcade 84. Then do it, man. Now we're going to fast forward a little bit here and there, so it may not be in actual real time. We don't have 3 hours.
Right.
I mean, push come to shove, man. We could make this a 2-parter. I mean, hey, man, we're the PUDcast.
You never know. You never know.
That's the cool thing about when you're a couple PUDs, you can do what the hell you want on the PUDcast.
Exactly.
But man, so far, it has been a great card.
It has.
It really has, man. I mean, a lot of great.
I think with the exception of the Mr. Ito and Brian Adidas match, luckily that was a quick match.
It was quick, man.
It needed to be quick.
Well, it was enough for people to get their popcorn.
So here's Mike going for the figure 4. He was famous for the figure 4. Not as big as Flair, but or Jack Briscoe, but. Well, he's working on a leg now.
Setting it up. So the figure 4 was his signature.
Yes.
Okay. Now that I wasn't aware. Like I said, man, I'm not familiar with a lot of his actual in-ring work.
Right.
I knew him more as being a booker or being on the creative, on the backstage.
Yes.
Honestly, man, just to kind of keep it real, I always looked at him more as Dusty's friend.
Right.
Really.
Well, see, he's got the figure 4 in now.
Yes, he has.
And Barr gets to the ropes.
Barr gets to it. And now I can see it is Jimmy Jack. I'll be
It
damned,
is.
man. You put a mask on that guy. You put a Lone Ranger mask on him.
You put a
and
Lone
that's
Ranger
him,
mask.
man. I'll be damned.
Yep, sure
I
enough.
always wondered about Jimmy Jack. I just figured, hell, man.
I mean, that's like putting glasses on Clark Kent, I guess. I mean,
I'd have never known.
Yeah.
I could have Jimmy Jack and
there.
Oh no.
We got a Hebner down.
There's a Hebner down.
We got a Hebner down, and we got a small package.
And I just counted the 5.
No, this is first referee bump we've had. So
that's true. That is true. Yes. Once again, man, a great match. It's a back and forth. Now, is Mike Barr a heel in this
Well,
match,
see, that's
Mike?
the thing. They did the referee bump, but it wasn't a significant one where he was just down for,
What, 5 seconds?
I think, probably about 10 or 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was long
Oh.
enough not to get a pinfall on the other guy. In other words, it was just long enough.
And he sweeps the legs. Yep, he's going to use the
and
ropes.
And Jack,
Boom.
and what happened, Mike?
Yeah.
What happened, man?
Just wrapped him up in the corner, swept the legs and put his legs on the rope to secure the pin.
And the referee did not see this,
I tell
man.
you what, he does kind of look like a Funk right there, for sure.
He actually
kinda
does.
look like Terry.
The way that they had this camera angle on, I'm still gonna call him Jimmy Jack, man. He's Jimmy Jack.
Yeah.
The angle they just gave this guy, the camera angle, kind of an up. Damn, right there too, man.
Oh yeah.
He looks like a Funk. He looks like Terry Funk.
He does look like Funk.
He looks like he could either be Terry Funk's brother, younger brother, or his older son.
Yeah.
Like if Terry, had a kid at a young age, man.
All right, now what
Good
we're
match.
seeing,
It was a good
it was
match.
a good match. It was definitely a good match. They're showing a highlight of an incident that happened on the TV where the Long Riders and Tully Blanchard and J.J. Dillon tied up Dick Slater. I mean, just hog-tied him in the corner, and they are putting the boots to Steamboat.
Yes.
Pretty bad.
And I mean, this is a beat down, people.
Yeah.
Once again, get on the network, get on whatever source you can get, Starrcade 84, and go back and let's watch some of this stuff. Because man, what's the group again, man? The tag team of Bart and Bass.
Long Riders.
Long Riders.
Long Riders.
You got these guys. You got Tully Blanchard. You have J.J. Dillon. Obviously, this is before the Horsemen.
Oh
This
wow,
is,
they're stretching them out pretty good there.
Yeah,
Wow.
and we're seeing a very young Ricky Steamboat,
Yeah,
who
for sure.
quite honestly could be considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest, babyface of all time. He
I
never
would
turned
say.
heel. Never turned heel.
No.
Not once, man. I can't think of anybody else that really, other than Sting, but even Sting had a little up back and forth with the NWO era. So anyway, basically you're just seeing one of the top, most over babyfaces get the absolute, kicked out of them.
Right.
Now, to set up for our next match.
Well, no, actually, no.
Or-
I
I
don't
was
know
about to
why.
say.
I don't know why they put that segment in between this match, because actually our next match is going to be an elimination match between the Assassin, number 1, and Buzz Tyler.
Oh, boy. I like Buzz Tyler, though, man.
What? All right, let's hold on. Let's come back
I'm thinking
to
of
that.
Buzz Sawyer, brother. I'm sorry.
You're thinking Buzz
I
Sawyer.
called the wrong Buzz, man.
Yeah, you got the wrong Buzz.
I got the wrong Buzz.
Yeah.
Not the first time that's happened.
Oh, you never want that to happen.
Probably not the last.
But they're in a tag match against the Zambuie Express.
Okay, right.
Which was Elijah Akeem and
Right.
Kareem Muhammad
And we've discussed him a little bit.
with
especially
Paul Jones
With Paul Jones.
as the manager.
Yes, sir. Right. So in other words, man, we're about to get a straight up wrestling clinic.
Not so much.
Is this one going to have some?
This is where we go from that that technical match, that great match we just had, to
Yes.
hey, this is just whatever.
Now we're just going to throw it against the wall and see what fucking sticks.
This is what happens. These are big guys.
Oh yeah.
Charisma going against bigger guys.
And there is charisma in this thing, man. You got Paul Jones.
Yes.
You have the Zambuie. Am I saying that?
Zambuie Express.
Zambuie Express, man. And these guys are huge, man.
Yeah.
These guys are intimidating. Go back and look these guys up, man.
Yeah, these were not guys to
To play around
no,
with, man.
absolutely not.
yeah.
These guys were just
Huge, big
Pounders.
guys.
pounders.
Yes, man. Yes.
Buzz Tyler, here we go. Buzz Tyler's out in some kind of robe.
Yeah.
I've never seen Buzz Tyler wear a robe ever. He
And
always wore that South Carolina. Was it Gamecock jacket he used to wear all the time?
I'm not familiar.
Something
man.
like that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
he used to wear that, and he's out in this black robe.
And it does not suit, man. It
No,
does
it
not
doesn't.
fit.
It's just like putting
Polishing a turd, maybe.
right. Well,
Putting a rub on a turd.
sure. But the assassin, the saving grace for me
Is the assassin.
is the assassin number 1.
Right.
But here's the thing: this is the assassin number 1 as a
As a
babyface.
babyface. That's right,
Yes.
man. We're flipping the roles here of what made
Right.
the assassin so, well, not necessarily popular, but famous, I guess.
Yes.
Known. It was
Right.
how his aggressiveness, man,
Yes.
his hostility.
Scary.
Scary.
He was so
Yes.
scary as a heel.
Yes, man, and and to me, to be that scary under a mask, because the mask always kind of hid your, and we always kind of think of mask and maybe not being the most
No, you put it over.
right.
All right, see, here we go. We're just going at this match already. I don't know what Buzz Tyler is doing.
Well,
right here. He's just jiggling and
he's jiggling, man.
yeah,
This man
he's
is
just going on jiggling.
Which, once again, man, I think Buzz Tyler is a good example of not having to have that cookie cutter bodybuilder body type.
I liked him the first time when he was Bugsy McGraw.
I actually like Bugsy. I did. I like Bugsy, man. I did.
But he was that crazy.
Yeah, right, man.
Yeah, he was that crazy kind of goofy. You didn't
almost
know which way he was
Boogie
going.
Woogie Man to a degree.
No, they teamed up a lot.
Yes, right. And I love them guys as a tag team, man. Now, Mike, this may be one that we fast forward a little bit, you think? This might...
It's a weird match because, here we go, it's only a 5-minute match.
Right. But it lasts for 5 hours.
It seems like it lasts a lot longer because it is an elimination match.
You're right. And these guys are slower. It's not as an up-tempo.
Yeah, you're not going to see the Matt Classic.
No, not a lot of spots, man.
No.
It's going to be a lot of shoulder blocks, a lot of body slams, a lot of head locks, a lot of rest holds.
You see a lot of the leg thing. What is that dance called where you're doing the legs and the?
I know what you're. I don't know the name of it, man. Boogie Woogie Man used to do it all the time. Buzz Sawyer would do it a lot.
Yeah. No, not Buzz Sawyer. Not Buzz Sawyer.
No. Man,
Buzz Tyler.
Tyler, man.
Tyler.
I'm getting all my buzzes confused, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I have more than one buzz.
Buzz.
I like any wrestler named Buzz. But yeah, man, I mean, you've got really 4 huge guys in here. The Zambuie Express, man, were just so intimidating, so ahead of their time, man.
I don't think they got the push that
I agree.
They should have.
Totally agree, man. These guys would have been great against the Road Warriors.
Right.
These guys would have actually
gosh.
been legitimate,
Yeah.
competition for the Road Warriors. They're not just going to go in there and mow you over, man. These guys, hell, man, you almost put Zambuie over them, over the Road Warriors to a certain degree.
Honestly, I think it should have been. There goes that leg dance again.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell to call that thing.
We're going to find a video
Just
of
the
it on
shaky
YouTube.
legs.
Yeah, but back in '84.
Yeah. But I think it should have been, honestly, in my opinion, it should have been the Zambuie Express against Dusty Rhodes and Manny Fernandez
For the US for the title.
World Tag Titles.
Yes. One thing, and I believe we talked about this either last week or week before, Mike. I think it was last week. How was those titles not put on the line, man? And I get Dusty in the main event. I get that. He was booking it. I get it. But at the same time, man, we should have really had that match, and that would have been great, Mike.
That was. Here's the thing. Honestly, they should have dropped them back to Ivan and Nikita.
Yeah.
For sure. Beforehand, and had them carry that in that match. But at the same time,
So it would have been.
it would have been hard because. I don't know how long, like any team like that, I don't know how long Zambuie would have stayed around.
Yeah.
They weren't long for this one. I think this is actually probably their last match in Crockett. I think they would go back to Florida off of this, but here we go. I think we're looking at the first elimination coming up.
You mean other than my attention span? On this match?
This is
It's not really.
Deals. No, it just.
It's a slow burn, man.
Yeah,
it's a slow burn.
It is.
And if you guys could go back and watch these 2 huge guys punching each other, man, this is not
potato second.
Yes, man. I don't know. This is just not a great match. This
is where I don't understand. See, there's a pushover. Pushover for the pin. 1, 2, and 3.
So the Assassin 1 beats one of the Zambuie Express by basically doing a shoulder block, stumbling against the back ropes. His partner Buzz Tyler, pushes the Assassin back on top of him and gets a pinfall.
Yeah.
Once again, Mike, probably not
the best.
Not the best finish.
Not the best one.
But it kind of goes back to what we've been seeing watching these matches together, man. That some of these finishes aren't. Well, I think we got what's the word I'm looking for, man? I think we got a little spoiled.
Yeah.
Coming up, especially being our age and then watching the ECW. I always go back to ECW, man, is where I kind of say.
But see here, before we miss this.
Okay, he's doing the little leg dance.
I'm not even talking about that.
Oh, really? I thought that was the highlight.
So they took that fall.
Right.
Not 30 seconds after that, the other one just takes the count out.
Yeah, and then the match is over.
Boom, out.
Match is done.
Let's just wrap this.
Just take it to the house.
Let's just wrap this stinkfest up.
So this elimination.
That was it.
That was it. Just to recap this match. God damn it! I really hate to do it, Mike, but I'm gonna try to recap this match. You basically had you had an elimination where two people have to be eliminated.
Right.
Pinfall, submission, count out. We have one of the Zambuie Express who does get a pinfall loss. Not the best way to lose by pinfall. The other partner just stays outside, gets the count out, and the match is over, brother. We're moving on.
All right. Well, let's call it for what it is.
It was crap.
It was a shit.
It was shit. It was drizzling, man.
Yeah.
It was a drizzling shit. Yes. Which is really terrible, man, because the other match that I wouldn't put in the higher echelon of matches so far was the Ito match. But even it was a clinic versus what we just witnessed.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my Jesus, man. You go back to the first match
that was tough.
with Denny Brown.
Yeah.
That one was, man, that was great. So now, oh, man, speaking of wonderful championships. White Pain, why don't you give a little background, brother?
I don't even see it. The one he's wearing is the
tag, yeah.
It's the tag title.
But they did just have the graphic for it. Well, let's tell the people at home, man. Yeah.
What we got up next? All right.
It's Mikey's favorite belt.
Oh my.
Or non-belt.
Non-belt. I mean,
it's invisible.
I don't know. He may be wearing it on his hand. I mean, because this is the match for the NWA Brass Knuckles Championship.
But brass knuckles are illegal, man. They were actually illegal, like for real illegal back in that day. You couldn't have brass knuckles.
No.
The cops would arrest you, man.
Exactly. So this is between Manny Fernandez,
right,
the challenger, against Black Bart, the champion.
Right. Two really good wrestlers, man.
Right.
Really good wrestlers.
I love both of them.
Both these guys.
Black Bart, J.J. Dillon's with Black Bart as well.
Right.
But it's for this. Who the hell knows where this came from?
I don't remember. Man.
Brass Knuckles Championship. I've never seen it. We watched an entire year of
not once.
NWA 1984.
Not once.
Not once on the TV.
Does they bring it up?
No mention.
The only time as a kid, or even to today, man, the only time I ever remember that belt or that title is this match that we are now watching right now.
Yeah.
And there's not even a title belt. I mean, there's not even a pair of brass knuckles, man.
No.
If you actually had a solid gold pair of brass knuckles that had brass knuckle champion on them, I could see that.
Right. The only thing I can see in this match right now is both people have their fist taped.
Fist taped. I see. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Which at that point, oh god.
Okay, well, Manny Fernandez. He's throwing
pops.
some taters here, man. He's throwing some taters
pops.
on.
Some pops, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
And Black Bart took a great bump right there.
But then why not just call it a tape fist match
and be done with
it?
Right. Just like Tully and Ronnie would have a year later.
Yeah.
But one thing about these guys, man, you talk about two real deal motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Man. These guys were the real deal. Manny Fernandez will whoop your ass for real.
Yeah.
A funny story, man. My friend Patrick Woody, I know you know P-Dog.
Yeah.
Shout out to P-Dog. He gets a shout out this week. He was from Shelby, and so was the Raging Bull. Well, Patrick told me a story back in the day, man, that they went and did the old knock on the door and run away routine on the Raging Bull.
Oh.
And Patrick told me, man, the Bull came out with a shotgun and his tighty-whities on, man. Scared him to death, man. I don't believe Patrick and his friends ever went back to the Raging Bull's house.
I imagine not.
I sure as hell want it.
Yeah.
Of course, I wouldn't be doing that shit to begin with the Raging Bull, man, But you playing you grabbing the bull by the horns, bro.
Yeah.
But, Patrick, man, told me that story. That's one of the first things I remember.
Almost saw the bull's
horns for real. Yeah, but I mean, think about that, man. The Raging Bull coming out with a shotgun. That man don't need a shotgun.
No.
That man will kill you with it. No, man, and that's what trips me. I was like, damn, man, what's scarier than the Raging Bull? The Raging Bull with a fucking shotgun.
Yeah.
Who's pissed off because you just knocked on his door and run away. Yep. But yeah, man.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go.
But I remember my buddy Patrick telling me that, man, back when we used to work together at Mohegan Mills, and that just tripped me out, man. That stuck with me, man. Yeah, I don't know if I ever told you that or not, but yeah, he told us about that, or he told me about that story back when we first met. And I was like, brother, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad Patrick's a good friend of mine, and I'm glad he's still here.
Oh, yeah.
Man, when you do that in Raging Bull, it's a crapshoot, man.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, he's gotten in trouble.
Lucky.
You know, Raging Bull got in a little trouble here and there, getting in fights, and he ain't no joke, man.
No,
he ain't
for
no
sure
joke.
not. Let me tell you what else Bull is. Bull can get some blood.
Yes, sir.
And
Well,
right
as we're
now,
seeing right now.
Right now, he is busted open. But
Yes.
he could get color.
Yes, man, and he could sell it.
Yes.
You know, man, that was. Once again, maybe we don't give enough props to man because we're talking about how much of a badass he is.
Oh, yeah.
And he was.
Yeah.
But man, watch him sell.
Oh yeah.
We're watching this in real time,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. And this man who is no slouch.
Nope.
And of course, Big Black Bart ain't either, bro. I mean, Black Bart's actually
absolutely.
bigger, and
Yeah.
you know, but the Raging Bulls over here just get murdered
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. And as an adult, all these years later, 30 years later, 30 plus years later, I'm looking at him, and I still feel sympathy right now for the Raging Bull.
Right.
From just his actions, man, his facial expressions. But now he's coming back. He just got one of those backhands,
Oh yeah.
The Raging Bull's coming up. He's got a good color job going on. Black Bart, he's getting some taters right to the face by the Raging Bull. He takes a spill over the top rope, and the crowd is going wild, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going wild.
Oh man.
I'm tripping. This is a great match.
There was nothing more exciting than Manny when he got going.
Yes. Oh man, he was a fucking freight train,
Yeah.
brother. Yes, man, full steam ahead. And just talking about the violence and the blood. I know we're going to definitely talk Starrcade '85, obviously. But man, you got to talk a little bit about that Abdullah match. To this day, one of my favorite matches of all
dude.
time, man.
Yeah.
It stuck out. That match sticks out. But we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get
there.
we'll definitely get to that point on there.
So what we seeing right now, brother? Let's see. We got Black Bart outside with J.J. Dillon, his manager at the time.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Bart's got some color on him too now.
Let's see. Now that would
And
he does.
He could get Bart
Yes.
could get some color too.
He is busted up, and it is, which makes sense for a brass knuckles championship match, man. You got to have a little color going on to put this thing over.
Yeah.
And Mike, I think you're right. I think having the taped fist is basically what they were trying to get across. I think that's the point, because I really never noticed that either.
No.
Honestly, I just never really thought about it because they didn't call it a taped fist match. But let's speak a little bit more about the Raging Bull, because I want to ask you a question about the Raging Bull, man. Talking a little bit about racism and this and that. The man's finishing move, Mike, was called the Flying Burrito, man.
I don't know.
I remember even as a kid, I'm like, what?
I just,
What?
I never understood it.
I understand completely why, man.
I
Because
mean-
it was just racist, man.
Didn't Tito do the same thing?
So I'm sorry, now.
Didn't Tito do the same thing? Tito Santel.
I don't know if they call it the Flying Burrito though.
They called it something.
The Ariba something maybe, or it was something Hispanic.
Yeah.
It was definitely, but he did have the same move if I'm not mistaken. But man, when they used to call it the Flying Burrito, I mean, it's like, well,
I
let's,
didn't get it. I just
I didn't either.
I didn't understand
It's
why.
food.
Yeah.
it's like, why not have the flying chicken leg?
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
that
really,
was the thing,
man.
When Dusty dropped an elbow, it wasn't the meatloaf.
Dude, what- it should have been.
I mean,
Dude, that'd have been awesome, man. I would love Dusty even more, man.
Yeah,
The steak drop.
Yeah.
The
fucking-
meatloaf. Fuck. I'm gonna give you the meatloaf, baby. Damn it, Mike Payne, you got me, bro. You got me.
What's the meatloaf, baby?
I like meatloaf, baby.
What's the meatloaf,
You
baby?
put some gravy on that
Put
meatloaf.
you down, come in, drop the meatloaf on you.
You're gonna get the 1, 2, 3 if you
We're gonna get
will.
get
Put
the
some gravy on it.
3, we're gonna take it home.
But nah, man, but Jesus Christ, man. But seriously, dude, I never understood. I mean, I understand it. I know why they did, because
Right.
it's Hispanic, and everybody knows a burrito. But goddamn, man,
It's
you could have called El Diablo or some shit. I mean, the
something.
devil. I mean, something, man.
Now Bart's motioning for something here. Bart pushes down the referee.
Now we have.
I'm almost curious as I want to think this is no disqualification match.
But why did they?
And there you go.
But we have a finish, man. We just
got
have.
to finish.
Yes.
And we got a new champion.
Yes. Manny Fernandez has beat Black Bart for the belt, or for the championship, the title,
with a
with a roll up.
yeah.
Well, what we had was J.J. Dillon was throwing in the bull rope for Black Bart. Black
Right.
Bart had his back to Manny Fernandez, and
Right.
as Black Bart went to catch the rope, Manny Fernandez came up behind him and rolled him up and secured the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You know, but like you were just saying about it being a no disqualification match, they were trying to do this behind the referee's back.
Yeah.
So
I didn't understand that as far as
and
trying to keep that a secret, but yeah, hey.
Hey,
you
man,
know,
it was a great match.
It is what it is.
But I will
Yeah.
say this
I
about
think
the match.
It was a good match.
It was a very good match, very entertaining, man. You know, obviously the Raging Bull, but Mike, watching this together, me and you, and kind of giving our review reaction, I don't know if a roll up is
No.
maybe the most efficient way to finish a brass knuckle match.
No, it was definitely not. And this was not a pretty roll up.
No, it wasn't.
We're
man.
going to take and watch it again because they're doing the replay on it.
Yeah, we're watching this.
They're talking to each other, and boom.
We have a ref bump.
There goes the ref. So
who was
let's
wearing
get
the janitor
now.
clothes.
Okay.
You know. Now we have Raging Bull coming up with the roll up. Not the prettiest.
Not at all.
The referee is up in time to make
Yeah.
the 3 count. The
Yeah.
referee's also wearing a
That's-
janitor outfit.
That's the thing, you know. He didn't have to take that big bump and be out for 2 hours.
That's right, man.
And let me tell you, the jump rope, or not the jump rope, the jumpsuit.
The janitor outfit.
Hey, listen, that was Sonny Fargo.
Okay, I mean,
The famous Memphis Fargos.
you got to get it straight. You know?
Right.
No, man, I always thought that was just made pop as hell, man. Put that shit on it, made pop, man. Motherfucker like a janitor up in here, man. It's like the referee didn't call in. The referee called in, man.
It was a funny thing because it looks like. Oh, let's go ahead. It's a onesie.
It's a onesie, man. It looks
It's
like it looks like a fucking janitor or some shit, man. You go to clean out the goddamn, contamination somewhere, man. Motherfucker, it looks like the car. It looks like Duke the dumpster Drosy up in the motherfucking house.
It always
man.
put me more in mind of the Sears 70s catalogs.
I can see that. I can see that. No, dude, it looks to me like the referee called in. Oh shit, we need a referee. Go get the fucking janitor. Hey, Sonny. Get your ass in the ring. Can you count to 3? Yeah, all right, motherfucker, you're high. All right, well, brother, what we got next on the card here, man? Looks like we got a little bit of a recap or something here, man. Maybe a little bit of
they're really putting over that incident with Steamboat and Tully.
Right.
We're talking now with Steamboat in the back, but our next match is actually going to be Paul Jones.
Oh man, here we go
with one of his guys from the Zambuie Express,
right,
against Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant.
God damn it! Now, Mike, how do we feel about this?
It's incredible. It's truly,
great.
Truly incredible.
Now, Mike, let me ask you something, man.
Now, this is, I should go ahead and point this out. This is a tuxedo street fight. Loser leaves town match.
Yes. Now, Mike, let me ask you, man, as far as our show goes, because, we're starting to push around that time, man. Do you think we should make this a 2-parter? Because I'm thinking that this may be a good finish for today.
I would say maybe...
or how many more matches are there?
I would say let's push it a couple more.
Okay, kind of see where we're at.
Your biggest matches are definitely going to be Tully and Rick.
Yes.
And,
of course,
and
Steamboat.
Steamboat.
Yeah.
And Rick and Dusty.
Obviously,
which is going to take time.
That might be the whole, yes.
So, and Wahoo and Superstar Billy Graham.
Right.
But here comes Jimmy out now.
Looking slick, man.
He looks pretty slick.
He's slick, man. Yes.
I ain't gonna lie.
Looking sharp,
Look
man.
at that. Look at that hat.
This man is looking sharp, ladies and gentlemen.
Tom Miller gets the shoogies right off the back from Boogie.
Man, I'm just watching this dude and I'm marking the hell out, dude. I mean, Jimmy the Boogie Woogie, man, is tucked the fuck out,
Yes.
man. He is clean as a goddamn whistle, man, sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
He got his damn, he got to do it.
Cleaner than Peter's Peter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
Yeah.
man. 100%, baby,
Yeah.
all day long, man.
Yeah.
He even got his brim on, man. My man's rocking a go to hell hat, dude.
Yes, he is.
For real, man.
He
for real.
is.
And Paul Jones is rocking a cape.
He's got a goddamn Dracula cape.
Cape. He's got a tuxedo and a Dracula cape.
Look at that.
God damn,
Look.
I missed this shit, man.
Look.
This is the best shit. Dude,
Right now, you're listening to Mark's just marking
marking
out,
the fuck out, man.
marking
In
the
real
fuck-
time.
about all this.
I mean, you got the assassin in a tuxedo,
Yes.
looking slick as hell.
Oh yeah.
Once again, cleaner than a Skeeter's Peter.
Oh my God.
I mean, you got a freshly shaved Boogie Woogie man.
I'm telling you.
Thanks to Paul Jones.
Yeah. Well, he's just got, he's building that beard back.
Yes, yeah, he grown it back. He got a little bit going on, man.
He doesn't really quite have a beard as more as the mustache and
a hell of a goatee, man.
Yeah.
Like a hell of a goatee right now.
And wide.
And yeah, man, but he looking, he kind of looks like Delbert McClinton from the old musician, man. They kind of favor one another. But nah, man, I'm tripping on Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man up here in the tuxedo, and I'm really tripping out on number one Paul Jones and the Dracula case.
How about Sonny Fargo?
And the janitor outfit.
His blue onesie.
Jesus Christ, man. Get some stripes. Go get a white T-shirt.
My man just wanted
and some
to be
black
different.
spray paint.
My man just wanted to be different.
Oh, it's different. It's different unless you're a fucking janitor.
He's got the patch right here, the official NWA patch on his breast.
Yeah, waste management.
Oh man, I'll tell you what.
Dude, you got it. Come on, man. That motherfucker looks like the janitor. He does. Like I said, man, Tommy Young called out of me, and they're like, well, get the janitor in there. Yeah, man, like I said, I'm watching these two.
Well, see, here's the thing, and I want to say this, talking about Sonny Fargo again, because in Memphis, and this is the difference between territories and how wide it could go. Now, Jones is getting chased around by Boogie.
Well, which I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I don't blame him,
He's going to get him. Finally going to get his hands on Paul Jones. Here it goes.
This is it, man. Yeah, this is the first time, right? Is this the first time that they've really...
I think so.
Locked up?
Yeah.
So, man, there's a lot of build-up right now.
And he's got a rope around Jones's throat.
Right.
It
looks like one of the tag ropes. Maybe one of the tag ropes or something. He's tying him to the top rope. Holy shit, man!
He's tying him to the top rope on this thing,
but
around the neck so he can't go anywhere.
He's stuck, man. He's stuck like Chuck.
Yeah.
He can't get loose, man. And man, my whole profanity thing that I've been working on, this one, fuck that, man, because I'm about to mark the hell out, man. It's gone now, man.
Gone. If you got kids listening, just
tell them to go to bed, man.
This ain't the time.
No,
this
man.
ain't the time.
This ain't the Comic-Con show, people. This is out down. This is real life shit, people.
Yeah. Oh, what? He made him eat his own flour out of his tuxedo.
Paul Jones spin that shit out, boy. And Mike, let me ask you, man.
He's stripping him.
Now, how does one win a match in a tuxedo match? How does one?
Pinfall.
Is it
I thought it was
pinfall. I thought
no,
it was
it's not stripping. No.
Really?
Nope.
Did they ever have it like that? I thought it was the first one that was down to the boxers or their underwear lost. But it is a pinfall.
Pinfall.
It's just an elaborate no disqualification.
Street fight.
Street fight.
Yeah.
I think it gives Boogie Woogie Man a reason to wear a fucking tux. Because the man was sharp.
Yep.
Dude, that's what trips me out, man. That man was sharp. Now, let me ask you,
Well, see, you'll notice baby faces never had their tuxedos or outfits stripped off them. And every tuxedo match is always the heels that wind up naked.
Pretty much naked.
Yeah, pretty much
naked. And I never really noticed that, man. I never have, but yeah. So yeah, right now, man, Paul Jones is.
This is kind of weird. This is why I don't.
Yeah, because Boogie Woogie Man's
is
ripping his pants off right now, ladies and gentlemen, and it's kind of awkward to watch.
It is awkward.
I forgot about this. Yeah.
Which I mean, here's the thing. Though. Here's the thing. I don't know what's so embarrassing about getting stripped down to your underwear
when you're wrestling in them.
When you're wrestling in your underwear.
I mean, he's wearing trunks.
Yes.
I mean, Paul Jones.
He is wearing black trunks right now.
I think what got me is when the Boogie Woogie Man went down to his knees to undo his belt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, wait. Yeah. Whatever, man. Each your own, but whatever.
Yeah.
There's anything wrong with that.
So Jones is loose now from the ropes. Finally, his head's not caught in the ropes anymore.
And Jones is down to just his quote unquote underwear, but they're trunks or wrestling trunks.
And he's putting the boots to the Boogie, who's shaking like a.
That's not even a tux, man.
No.
Shit, man, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Let me tell you what the Boogie Woogie Man.
A long sleeve shirt with the.
With a tuxedo painted on it, man. He had a jacket on. I thought it was legit, man. He took his jacket off. This motherfucker's wearing a regular t-shirt or a regular shirt with a tuxedo. Oh, man, I love the Boogie Woogie Man, dude. And here we go, man. Good night, Irene.
Good night, Irene.
The
going
sleeper
into
hold.
The sleeper.
The sleeper hold has been put on Paul Jones. Man, just what two great talents. Brother, we're watching a
They
masterpiece
are.
right now,
Yeah.
man. This is
And Jones is
entertainment.
getting color all over the place.
Dude, man,
he's
Jones
he's
is
bleeding it out.
He is leaking like a fucking faucet
Yeah.
right now, man. The Boogie Woogie Man's putting him to sleep. The Boogie Woogie Man is wearing a regular shirt, dude, painted up like.
Well, it's gonna be red. By
it's
the time
red.
This is over.
Yeah, man, he's already, and that's it. The match is over,
No,
ladies
no.
and gentlemen.
No,
Whoa,
it's
whoa,
not.
whoa, whoa,
No,
whoa,
it's
whoa,
not.
it's a false
You got
finish.
some interference.
And the janitor just got knocked down.
Yeah.
I mean, so who's going to make the pin? I'm sorry, man, but that blue onesie is killing me, dude. It's just, so come on, Sonny. That had to be Sonny's idea, because I don't see promoter.
He just wanted to get it out there.
Yeah,
Now here comes J.J. Dillon in the ring.
No.
And it hits him over
That's bullshit, man.
with a can of.
Whatever that was a can of, man.
Yeah.
It was a can of bullshit is what it was. No, man, bullshit. I call bullshit on
and
that.
Paul Jones wins the Loser Leaves Town match.
So that means that we'll never see the Boogie Woogie Man again
For 60 days.
for a while. But he brings somebody in. Well,
No,
I
this
thought
is
it's just
not
not
that.
that.
No, this is not the
Out of town.
Charlie Brown from out of town. No,
I got my shit all messed up, man.
Yeah.
I need to do research before I come to the
no,
podcast.
yeah, and we talked about this, in our earlier shows about that. Now, Assassin here is putting it over like he smells something,
Oh, like it had chloroform or something
like
on
it had
it.
chloroform,
Oh yeah,
which
yeah.
I think originally it was supposed to be one of those things because JJ had
he
the
had the can
and the rag.
and he has the rag. He sure
You'll-
damn does, man.
You'll see in the replay here.
Yes.
Coming up, he comes. You can see him come. He's got the rag. He's got the can, and for whatever reason,
He hits him with the can and not the rag.
and just takes it, picks up the rag, gets Jones over, and they never go with that.
They don't go with the chloroform, man.
But apparently, they didn't tell the assassin that because
He's still.
he's selling it like he smells like the ether, the chloroform.
Well, technically, he did use chloroform. He just hit him in the head with the can.
Damn head with it.
I mean, technically speaking, man.
Yeah.
Mike, isn't it weird, man, when you go back and watch this a little bit older, you kind of start catching the things like that,
Right.
It's almost weird because, don't get me wrong, man, this is still great. I'm enjoying the hell out of watching that. That match was phenomenal, dude. I mean, I'm over here I'm still kind of riding a little bit of an adrenaline wave.
That's
after watching
where
it.
it's like, okay, that roller coaster just went to that peak.
To the peak, right there, man.
Yeah.
And it's just weird how nostalgia kind of plays a role in it too. It's like, you wouldn't even thought about that back in the day.
No.
It's like whatever, man.
Yeah.
It's Boogie Woogie Man, dude.
He just got hit.
He just got hit, man, with
Yeah.
a foreign object. It was made in China.
Right.
I always thought that, man. I always thought when they said foreign objects, I thought the shit was like in China
I thought it was-
or something.
I thought it was from the foreign wrestlers.
Was yeah, for real.
Especially
yeah.
if somebody was from
Yeah.
parts unknown.
Oh, dude. Well, fuck yeah, it's a foreign object. Shit, man. I don't know where it's from. Yeah.
Don't touch that thing.
I just thought it was made in China, man. I thought like an American, pair of brass knuckles was cool.
Yeah,
But man, you can
yeah.
get that motherfucker from Japan or China. Nah, man, that's illegal. That's foreign.
Foreign object.
That's a trip, man. All right, bro. So what we got coming up here next, man?
Up next, we've got for the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Championship, we got the challenger Dick Slater.
Yes, man.
Huge Dick Slater fan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm becoming one.
Going against Mr. Ron
Bass.
Bass with J.J. Dillon.
Yes, sir.
J.J. Dillon's out
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. Yes, he is.
A lot.
In fact, Mike, let's go back to that last match. What was J.J. Dillon's connection? Because didn't him and well, I know he's with the oh Lord, man, help me out here, brother. I'm going in a circle here. He had Tully Blanchard. I know that Tully and Jimmy had a little bit of a feud going on. That's what I was trying to get to. Do you think that had anything to do with him?
No,
interfering?
I think he'd already established a friendship with Paul Jones.
Okay,
And he actually sold the contract for the Zambuie Express to Paul Jones.
That is correct. Right. So
Yeah.
there's that connection. I
Right.
see. I got you. I was thinking it was more of the Tully connection,
Right.
but yeah, that's it. So yeah, man. So we have Dick Slater here, who I'm becoming a huge fan
Yeah.
of, man. You've turned me on to this guy. Going back doing some of my research for our last show, I was like, damn, man, this guy was really, really underrated, man.
Yeah.
Kind of overlooked,
Yeah.
Now, in his time, he was given his props. He was given his title runs.
For
just
sure.
Just like
that
he is now.
84 run was
tremendous.
spectacular.
Yes. But man, it seems like the history books have been written Dick Slater is not given the props he should. It's almost more of a footnote than a chapter.
Yeah.
Man deserves a chapter.
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
A couple, man. You know,
I would say so.
definitely not just a footnote.
We got Sonny Fargo as referee again.
You know,
Sonny's getting a lot of work.
He is getting. He's putting the work in, man. He has to pay for that onesie. This killing me, Mike. It's killing me.
I think they're saving Tommy
for the main events.
No, not even. He's not in the main event.
I thought he made event in that one. Oh shit, we'll see.
I think no. Joe Frazier. Refereed that one.
Right, that's right. Shit.
But I think they're saving Tommy for the Steamboat Tully.
Right.
I want to say. But we'll see. You know, as it goes on. But there again, you know, Dick Slater just. God, what a and Ron Bass as well.
Ron Bass was great, man.
Oh my God, he's another guy.
Very underrated, man.
Underrated.
Now, man, don't correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Ron Bass even captain a Survivor Series team?
Yeah,
he
actually,
did.
I want to say he did.
I mean, man, that's a pretty big deal, you know.
Back then, and he had a good run in the WWF.
He did. And he kept his gimmick.
Yeah,
that's what's so. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah,
you know that is such an anomaly. You know, Vince would when Vince McMahon would change Barry Windham's gimmick.
Oh.
You know that. I mean, we'll definitely could talk about that in its own way. But this is just putting over how over Ron Bass was and how good he was, man. It was like he didn't need to change his gimmick.
No.
You know, in fact, in some ways, Mike, you could even maybe make an argument that the Cowboy Outlaw gimmick was already kind of a WWE type gimmick to begin with. You know, it definitely had that character. It definitely had that.
It's something they could use for sure.
Right. It was more
Ron Bass,
character.
definitely not the first Cowboy.
No. Oh yeah. Right.
You've had so many.
Exactly.
At that point, but he was probably. I would say probably one of the best known for this era because he got definitely seen more.
Right.
You know, during the '80s, from Crockett all the way up to WWF.
Right, man. So he worked pretty much everybody, man. He worked all the styles. And like I said, man, he was just over. He was so good, dude. I mean, Ron Bass was just one of those guys, man, and he was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, he got it. You can tell he got it.
He did.
But yeah, man. So right now, you know, like I said, we're setting them up. So far, it's just some, you know, basic back and forth. You know, trying to, you know, one of the workers trying to put over the other one. You know, man, basically just trying to see who can get the advantage over who, kind of early on. Pretty much clinical. Right. You know, a clinical match so far. Dick Slater once again.
It's definitely going to be. You know, it's going to be definitely a good mix between technical and just brawling.
Brawling, man. Yes.
Because they were both great brawlers.
And you know, man, I think that's a good thing to bring up is how similar these guys are.
Oh yeah.
In their styles, man, which puts these two together. I mean, it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
You know, because you're about, like I said, we're witnessing a clinic right now.
Right.
There's so much going on, man. It's even hard to kind of explain it to the people not. Once again, watch this match.
Absolutely.
You know, go back.
Look at Sonny Fargo. God, he's so quick in that.
He is.
I don't know that it is a.
Hey, I see a belt, man. He has a belt. They just match, man. His jeans and his shirt match like most waste management uniforms do. I'm telling you, man. The motherfucker tries to him and Duke the Dumpster Bros.
He will not get off of Sonny Fargo. Look at him. Look at Sonny.
But he's in good shape.
All right, here's the thing about Sonny Fargo. And the differences between the two territories. From Memphis and Crockett. Not that far away from each other geographically. But here's the thing. You never... being here, you never saw anything from Memphis. Being from Memphis, you never saw anything here.
No.
So Sonny Fargo could referee here. But Memphis, Sonny Fargo was known as Rough House Fargo.
Right.
Which, you know, if Jackie Fargo, you know, the Fargo brothers, he was he was the black sheep, you know, story wise. Sonny Fargo, Rough House Fargo was the guy that was the crazy guy.
Right.
He actually was in an insane asylum.
Yeah.
And anytime things got too bad for them, you know, the heels were just giving them too much. They were outnumbered. They would have to go and sign out Sonny, Rough House Fargo, and bring him in.
Clear house. Take care of business.
Yeah.
Take him back.
Take him back. All that time he was refereeing in Charlotte.
And the Carolinas.
Yeah.
Ain't it great how you could do that back then? once again, it's a show to how our technology, the internet especially, how it's as great as it is and all the good things it's provided for us, how it kind of has taken away some of that magic, some of that
carny.
Yes, absolutely, man. That carnival aspect is exactly it, man. Because, I mean, that's a great angle, dude. I mean, that just sounds good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's realistic. I mean, hey, man, people go to the same asylum all the time, dude. That's why we have them.
And people would go absolutely nuts for
when he came
Rough
out.
House Fargo.
Yeah, because
would love him.
Yeah, because he was nuts.
Yeah.
And he would take care of business.
This is crazy.
Man.
Yeah. But, here he's just, hey.
He's a referee.
This is regular Sonny Fargo referee in a blue onesie.
And he probably got that shit off the staff at the goddamn insane asylum. It's a janitor. I told you, goddamn it, it's a janitor.
There you go.
It all full circle, bro.
There's your connection.
It all full circles, man. But right now, man, getting back to the action in the ring, we just have Black Bart basically working over Dick Slater. Dick Slater playing baby, or doing the baby role, who did pretty well as a baby from what I watched. Just as good as a heel. You know. Once again, man, one of those rare workers that could play either role flawlessly.
Right.
Who knew it so well.
I think his Crockett run with that babyface deal was one of his best. I know he went up north to WWE.
Right.
He did the Rebel gimmick.
I think I remember that, man. Yeah.
It just did not catch on.
It's probably just one.
On at all. But he would spend most of his career as a heel.
Right.
Early on in his career, he did the babyface. I think he won a couple of tag titles with Dusty Rhodes.
Right, he did, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I wonder if it was one of those issues, man, when he did the Rebel, just doing it in front of that WWE audience. Just did not translate as well. And
could not relate. They just couldn't relate.
Right.
Yeah.
In fact, if anything, man, it'd be more of a heel. It's like, oh well, you one of those.
Now, here's a move that's interesting. You don't see a whole lot. Ron Bass just did the Bulldog.
The Bulldog. You don't see that a lot anymore. Right. A great move, man. A tremendous move. In case you're listening to this and don't know exactly what a Bulldog is, first of all, why are you listening to us to begin with? Second of all, so I know everybody should be, but just in case you're not aware, it's basically like a DDT but reversed. In other words, you have them in a side headlock, and then you run, and then you just drop them down on their head.
Right.
If you turn your body around, it would basically be like a DDT, without the running, obviously. But yeah, man, if you don't know what a Bulldog is and you're listening to us, you're probably lost as fuck anyway.
Right.
So. but anyway, man, let's see. So we got J.J. Dillon working over Dick Slater on the outside. Now we have Ron Bass through Dick Slater out. J.J. Dillon's getting the heat on him, man. The referee's distracted. He's probably emptying a trash can or something. Oh, there he is. Okay. I'm telling you, man.
I love for Sonny Fargo.
No, not today, brother. This is not the Sonny Fargo Appreciation Channel. Not today. But he is doing a great job. He is. I'm just dogging out his outfit. Too. Yeah, and he's moving around.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's on it, man.
Yeah.
But I just can't get over the uniform. The uniform's killing me, brother. But
Bass has got Slater back in the corner, and I don't know what to call it other than kind of Slater hulking up, as far as.
That's what he's doing. He's walking turnbuckle to turnbuckle right now.
Yeah,
and he's basically hulking up.
Yeah,
not exactly
in that Slater way.
Is he dicking up, man?
He's dicking up.
He's dicking up.
He's dicking up or dicking out.
Or dicking out, yeah, man.
He's dicking out.
Oh no, Sonny Fargo just got thrown out with the trash.
Sonny Fargo. Slater's had enough. He's just taking it out on everybody.
He's over it, man.
He's dicking out on everybody.
He just dicked out on Sonny. Oh shit, man! Oh, it's back! It's back! We had a 1 second technical delay.
Oh no!
Or technical issue.
JJ just jumped in.
JJ just jumped in on the dick, and the dick just slammed JJ.
Yeah, he's dicking out on JJ.
JJ just dicked out of the ring.
Yeah. Here we go.
We have a scoop body slam, a real one. Great leg drop by Dick Slater on the Ron Bass.
Jumping leg drop.
But once again, the referee's out, emptying the trash cans. Sonny, get in there, Sonny.
What?
Oh, and look at this, man. Sonny ain't having it, man. Dick Slater done put his hands on the referee. That's a disqualification. Ladies and gentlemen, Dick Slater loses to Ron Bass via disqualification.
Yeah, and Dick doesn't understand why.
And Dick should know better, man. when you dick out on the referee, man, you lose.
Just don't be a dick.
Just don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
If we
don't be a dick to Sonny.
Just don't be a dick. I say don't be a dick. Period. But unless you're talking about Sonny's wardrobe, then it's okay to be a little bit of a dick. But
oh, he's about to dick out on JJ.
Yeah, JJ's about to get dicked out. And he's dicking out on Ron Bass, man. He's dicking out. He's dicking out.
He's double dicking.
Motherfucker. All right, man.
This is just terrible.
This one will go down in history, bro.
Yeah. This will be. Yeah.
Fuck it, man. I think we just said this podcast is called the Fuck It's. Fuck 'em.
Dicks out for Dick Slater.
Dicks out, motherfucker.
Dicks out for Dick Slater.
Don't be a Slater hater.
Yeah.
Pull your dick out. But all right, man. Well, brother. That's
where we gotta
oh, Jesus, man. I think this is a good place to end it for today, bro.
This will probably end the whole show.
Oh, yeah, man. We'll never be heard again, man. Yeah. Even Two Dogs and Jeff's going to be like, fuck y'all, man. Jeff's going to be like, yeah, fuck off, dude. Yeah, you and your dick jokes, man. Holy shit! Well, man, I tell you what, brother, we're definitely going to have to make this a two-parter, obviously. No spoilers for next week, man. No spoilers.
We'll keep it going.
We're going to keep it going.
We'll just cut it off right here, right now, and we'll pick it back up.
We will pick it back up, man. We will pick it back up. But Mike, brother, I had I had a blast today, dude. I have fun every week, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. Even this morning, I'm kind of dragging a little bit. I was like, oh shit, man, I gotta get the podcast going, and obviously looking forward to it, man. But it's a little bit. I was kind of dragging ass, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit of a drag this morning. I'm like, oh shit, man, I gotta get going. A little behind, and man, I'm over here just tripping my ass off, man. I'm having a blast. This is fun, man, and ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think about this one, because like I said, this is new. I mean, we're discussing, something we're watching. Yeah. So we don't
being disgusting at the same time. At the same time, disgusting like and being disgusting
as we do. That's us, man. Yeah. Let us know what you think, man. Because even going into this one, I'm like, man, the people aren't going to watch it. They can't see it. Will we be able to put it over? Let us know. You give us a heads up, man. I think we did fairly well. Like I said, man, it was a blast.
It's not exact science,
brother. What have we learned today, man? Don't be a Slater hater. Dicks out for Slater, and don't be a dick. It's not an exact science, brother. Well, man, I guess we ought to get about ready to wrap this bad boy up.
We're out of time.
We are out of time. The PUDs have got to go. But I just want to say again, Mike, thanks for opening up the Pud Cave today, brother. I had a blast, man, as always.
Absolutely. We'll do it again next week.
And again, man, a great Friday night with the first in Fright. That was phenomenal, man. I cannot wait to the next event.
A lot of fun.
What's the next event going on in town, brother?
I don't even know right now.
It's Culture Crawl, maybe?
Culture Crawl, yes.
Is that it? Is that it?
And that's all the way in November.
Okay, so we got a minute.
We got time on that.
We got a minute, man. Maybe you can get you a nap in, brother.
Yeah.
Maybe take a thing, recharge the batteries a little bit, man.
Actually, might watch SummerSlam tonight.
Oh, okay, that is tonight, isn't it, man? Yeah, I'll probably skip it, but
just to see what happens.
Just to see, man. Maybe. Yeah, man. I think I'll probably skip it, but I hope it's a great show. Like I say, our friends over at This Is a Work will be covering that show. Hopefully, they don't, man. Their schedule is definitely hectic.
They'll definitely have it up by the end of this coming week.
Yeah, that's the goal, man. That's the goal. So they may have one up before the next podcast. Maybe not, man. It's hard to get everybody to, like I say, man. Those guys work.
We're covering stuff from 1984, so
yeah.
we a little bit of time to wait on.
Yeah,
that happens. Like a few days prior.
Spoiler alert. In fact, I was watching this documentary on Netflix about some stuff that went on in the 1980s, about in 84, 85. I won't go into what it was or anything. But I was telling a friend of mine at work about it. She's like, well, don't tell me any spoilers. I'm like, the shit happened in 1984. It's like, goddamn, man, I think NBC News beat me to it back in the 80s.
Right.
But I just thought that was funny. Just kind of remind me of that, man. It's like, yeah, we're not on this, we're not on a time frame.
No.
But, man, I enjoyed this, man. Once again, this was another first for us. And, let us know what you guys think, as always, man. Not just this show, but that's all
questions, shows. Anything like that?
Absolutely, man. If you got any questions, anything you want us to talk, suggestions, whatever, man, drop us a post on our message board or on our Facebook page. on our YouTube page. And always, ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe, and share, man. Let people know, let us know what you like, and let them know what we're doing, And, well, Mike, brother, you got anything you like to end us with?
Yep. All good here.
All right, man. Well, I guess until next week, same PUD time, same PUD channel. Y'all have a good one.
Dicks.
And not only that, David, I understand we're right at the end of our program.
No, we have got to go.
This has been a great event.
There's some people out there that hate us for this.